Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. I wanted to thank everyone for coming, and let me call out everyone that's here. Hello, Niels Hahn Dynasty, David Carlisle, Rick Bruce Roke or Roach. I'm kind of thinking it's more of a K sound than an H sound. Anita Dotson. Anyone else that I have missed? Floyd Lawton, Metal Matt, who's been a really good person to the channel for quite a while. So we're just going to have to smurf you, dude. Pete Clark, Joey Libs, B-Cat, The Gambit. So welcome all to the live stream. Kind of more of an impromptu type of thing. So I want to welcome my guest today, Stacking Surfer. Hey buddy,
guys.
how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, Michael and Nancy. So I heard some of you weren't so very fond of the music. You got to keep in mind that is something that is a brand for the channel. Just Tiger is the brand. We do talk a lot about stacking and prepping and gold and silver and strategies, but Tiger is the brand. Like Surfer, his brand is surfing. So I hope you can understand that everybody has their brand, and this one's mine. And I really enjoyed that introduction because I love animals. So I'm working on that, B-Cat. I got to talk with Frosty. Hey, KTM. I'm working with Frosty to figure out how in the world to do that, because I have to do all sorts of manipulation on the hardcore buttons on the computer. So, hey, Frosty, don't chat while you're driving. Or should I say, don't drive while you're chatting. So, Frostbite, if you can in the future, help me figure out how to make things not so crazy with the sound whenever I'm doing something through the computer, if there's some sort of software control that I don't know anything about. So what you been up to, Surfer?
Dimes.
Dimes. Always a good thing.
I'm up to my neck in dimes, so let me see if I can show this a little bit.
It's better than being up to your dimes and neck.
Trying to finish this guardhouse box here.
Oh, that's a quarters. Those are quarters. That's a hard one to finish.
No, this is dimes.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going through all these cups of dimes right now.
Oh, that's a fun time.
So I don't know about you, but I like to test them just to make sure they're good.
Same here.
I mean, they should be good, right? I haven't really heard of anybody faking dimes.
But if they have numismatic value, there is a good chance you're going to see fakes. If they're just standard everyday dimes, that are silver, probably less likely. But if they're going to have some sort of rare date, rare mint mark, you will see that. In fact, Frosty and I did some time together where I just shipped him off a bunch of mercury dimes, and he said the tubes that I sent him just had traditional normal stuff, so he sent them back to me, and there you go. Unlike the time when we did
this one here, like a bunch of these over here are not testing on the Sigma, but they're not testing fake, right? Like it doesn't have the arrow. It's testing there's some silver there. But they're, and every once in a while it'll come back. So dimes, when you get to the smaller sizes, it gets a little screwy.
It does. And here's I don't know about your original, because I never had an original Sigma. I went straight to the Pro. I wanted something that would go through the coins, but with the Pro, you have the chance to change the year. And what I noticed, if you put the correct year in, sometimes the arrow is wrong. It says that it's not right. But what I typically do is I make an older year because of the wear and tear. And I think that's the reason it's set up that way, is so that it
And
will.
this will give you those options. So you can go in here to, this is pre 1945,
Oh,
and you
that's
can
good. I
also,
didn't think it would do that.
you can do pre 1900. So these may be older. My eyes are not very good. I can't read any of the dates.
Put the next older time frame
So
and
let's do this one here. This is
see if it reads
19.
in there.
Let's see if these all of a sudden show up now.
Yeah, you might have lost some silver in those dimes.
But here's the thing: they're showing up on 1900 now, but these are not that old. I mean,
Yeah, but they're worn.
1943. They are worn.
If they're worn, then it's going to. The Sigma doesn't know the year, but if they're worn, you put it in an older time frame and see if it reads correctly. If it reads correctly, you got the correct product. It's just worn.
And some of these aren't. I mean, they don't look worn, but there may be a lot of gunk on them too.
Well, it should read through the gunk.
Well, it should.
Not always, but it should.
So these will all test this way.
I will give you an example that I bought I think it was a $5 gold Liberty from Morgan Silver Treasures, and I put it into my Pro, and the surface read wrong, but the through was absolutely correct. And when you got a fake, that's not what you see. You see the surface is correct, and the through is wrong. And I did a whole video on that where I weighed it, measured it, sigma, and then did the specific gravity test and the ping test. Everything proved it was correct, and including the specific gravity. But specific gravity could give you wrong, as I later found out, because if it had, I'll show you here. Hold on a second. If it had this in it, it will measure correctly, it will weigh correctly, and the specific gravity will be correct because the specific gravity of gold is 19.2. Oh, I got to turn that off. I meant to do that. I'll do that here in a second. And the specific gravity of tungsten is 19.2. The specific gravity of gold is 19.2 hyphen 19.3. And that's why they like that metal, to fool you when they're trying to fake you out and get your fiat money.
That makes sense. And one of the things I've noticed too, Tiger, that people will notice when they're doing dimes or even quarters, is how full these things will get based on how much wear, right?
Correct.
So I'll do some Roosevelt's here in a second, but can you see the difference there?
Oh, definitely. And you should see them when you get yourself on barbers. Ooh.
Oh yeah. So I'll bring some others out in a minute here as we're doing this to show you. But anyway, you can see what I'm separating here is these are the ones that are in better shape. And
Okay.
you can tell, I don't know if you can see on my camera or not, but they have the ridges on the edge still.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wear there. These ones are a little bit gnarlier, they're a little dirtier, a little older.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell the wear a little bit more on the front because the ridge is wider on the front.
Okay.
And then this is an example of one that's quite a bit more worn. It's worn on the back, and you can see that some of the lettering's worn off. And so I'm putting these into 3 different categories. It's going to weigh differently. I want to hold on to the ones that are in better shape. And I like to kind of categorize them like that instead of averaging it out. That way, when I go to use these, I'm going to use the stuff that's more worn to begin with. So you can kind of see that a little bit over here. If you look closely, you'll see that they're all different heights. Anyway, that's one thing I do with them. But let me do let me do some of these Roosevelts so you guys can see that too. And the Roosevelts can get worn sometime. Like this one's kind of worn here. You don't see very many of them like that.
Well, they're newer. They didn't get circulated as much.
No, but some every once in a while you'll get some that are a little bit more circulated. These ones here, not very circulated.
I would think usually, not average, not always, but usually the younger they are, the less worn they're going to be.
Usually that is the case. So I'm curious too, Tiger, like anybody in this stream here. I mean, have you guys been buying dimes? This is the best stuff to buy right now. I mean, stores are flush with it because I don't know, there's a bunch of people that think that silver is about to crash in value. So you got a lot of people coming in to sell it. Yeah, silver may crash a little bit, guys, here in the short term. It may go down. That's not a crash, though. I don't think it's going to crash.
Well, me personally, I'm trying to hold.
That's what I'm doing.
For reasons I've told you, but I'm not ready to tell the community yet. Actually, I have a video coming out. It's getting edited that will explain my reasons for holding. You already know it. Frosty already knows it. So AA knows it. The people that I rely heavily on with the channel and all that. But the important thing is to hold, in my opinion, at this time, is to hold as much as you can. If you have extra and it's disposable money that you're going to spend it on something stupid, like I used to, then go ahead and buy yourself some more. It's better to buy yourself some more at the current rates than it is to go ahead and waste it on something unless you had kept the money instead. Hi, Mr. Silver Eagle. Long live coins, Sorcerer Stan, Larry Singleton. So basically, my idea is for if you got something that is going on, you might want to hold.
That one's worn too.
I will tell you that I am planning on stacking silver. I told you about this. I am planning on stacking silver in the near future, but a different type of silver.
Yes.
How many of you have seen my previous video, which what was about a year or so ago, where I interviewed Ben from Powered Portable Solar? Well, guess what? He came here today and is giving me an estimate. I want this house off grid. And I want Faraday cages or bags or whatever you call it in case we have an EMP or we get a solar flare. I want this absolutely off grid. My house is 100% 100% electric, and I want the ability to be up and going. And the way I want it done, and I'm waiting for the estimate, and I'm hoping it's going to be within my price range, is you could be either 100% off grid or have some sort of system. I forget the terminology that they use, where when your battery goes down 50%, it kicks on to the grid, and then puts it back into your battery, kicks off the grid, repeat. And if it goes down 100%, say the grid's offline, EMP, thunderstorm. We had a derecho, which is kind of like a land hurricane in 2012. We had 2 weeks of no power. And I called my flight instructor at the time. I was a pilot at the time, but I didn't have the skills to fly a Piper Saratoga, which is a single engine, very powerful plane with a side door that opens up kind of like a van.
Okay.
All the electric generators were scarfed. So we flew from West Virginia up to my other home in Pennsylvania, which I've subsequently sold, and went to Lowe's and bought a pretty big gas generator. I'd already filled up everything with gas the day before. Came back to the house and had all sorts of extension cords going all throughout the house, and the generator sitting outside the garage. We had power. We had the ability to stay cool because we lived down in the basement, but it was a survivalistic type of mentality because you can only do so much with that type of unit. And it was the biggest one I could purchase. But since we got a Generac generator, and that's going to be our backup. Last winter, we had 5 ice storms. I was not here for 4 of them. I was here on the 5th one. Power went out. About 10 seconds later, poof, it came back on. I got to watch my wife's worry lines go completely away. That was even better than my worry lines going away because I felt like a hero. We didn't have to worry about heating the house. We didn't have to worry about freezing pipelines that could then flood the house when things thawed. We
Okay.
could cook. We could cook. We could do whatever we wanted. So that's going to be the backup whenever the solar is put to the house. So that's my silver plan for hopefully not the distant future. So, because I'm like most people, I shouldn't say if, when SHTF hits, our plan is to bug in, not bug out.
Yeah, that's kind of our plan here. If we had to bug out, we'd have to go to the ocean. There's just not. We're not going to be able to bug out over to. We're not going to be able to bug out in Los Angeles or San Diego, and trying to go through those areas would be very dangerous. And then trying to get past Riverside would be pretty crazy too. So we're pretty much stuck where we're at. But if you had a boat, I guess you could go to Hawaii or something.
Well, that's okay. We'll just come live on your yacht.
Well, I don't have a yacht.
Hey,
If you had a yacht, then you probably have a bunker somewhere.
yeah, is that the truth? Hey, could you keep everyone in the chat entertained for a little bit? I've got to run to the little tiger's room.
Okay, little tight. Well, he's got a little tiger problem. So anyway, what I'd love to, I can't see your guys' comments, so he's going to have to come back and tell us what he sees. But what I wanted to share with you guys is I'm seeing good deals. These are Mercury dimes. And I've been seeing really good deals on constitutional silver. This deal was okay. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was spot price. And I get from the wrong one. And it could have been a better deal if it was a little bit below spot price, but I picked these up a few weeks ago before, the silver really started when it was taking off in the middle of it. So, for me, I got a pretty good price on this. I think I could have gotten a little better price as far as, premiums go. I would really be looking for something under spot price right now. So if I buy any more in the next week or two, I'm going to be looking at below spot price right now. But because I bought these a few weeks ago, I got a much better price than what you can get even going below spot right now. And I could tell that things were going to get a little crazy, so I went ahead and bought a fair amount of this. But that's what I've been up to. Is there's a lot of dimes. I'm going to complete this guardhouse box, and then I'm going to end up with more dimes. So now I got to make a decision if I'm going to do a second guardhouse box or not. But yeah, you guys put a 1 in the chat if you have a guardhouse box. Put a 2 in if you don't have any guardhouse boxes and you just leave dimes in bags. That one's got a little bit of wear on it. So I'm trying to get the ones that have less wear together. And I also want to show you guys the difference. So I can feel that these are all even. You got to put 50 of these into a tube. So that's kind of how I do it. I do it in tens. Makes it easier. I like to have, oh, I don't have a tube open. I like to have the face up is a little easier to see when it's in a box or in the tube. Do they all need to be facing the same way? They don't. But if it's not that much trouble to do it, you can at least see the dates that way easier as you're looking through them. But anyway, you can start to see how these have a little bit different amount of silver in them. This one looks like it's got just a little bit more than that compared to that one there. And let me see if I can get this other one out of the box.
Are you on your phone?
What'd you say?
Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not giving the chance to see the chat.
Nope. And you can see how much lower this. Can you see how much lower that one is than this?
Yeah, I can show you here too. It was out. I pulled out my guardhouse box. This one right here. Let's see here. This right here is your Mercury, your Roosevelt dimes. You can see how high it goes up. Now here is the Mercury dimes. And if you can see through the top, it doesn't go all the way to the top. Now, your barbers, you can't see, you can see the top already. They are so worn. But I wanted to have a couple tubes of them. And in some places, especially when I was buying the barbers, they were a little more expensive, say like at Atmex. When at the pawn shop, she sold them for the same price she sold all the dimes, based on face value.
And you get less silver.
Yeah, you get less silver.
But I do think it's fun to have some history.
It is.
The hard thing with barber dimes and even well, it's mostly barbers. You don't get it too much with the Mercuries, as you a lot of times do not have the date on the barber dimes.
There's some truth with that.
And if you're not seeing the date on coins, it's pretty darn worn.
I think they weren't making the rims very good in those days.
That's probably true too.
Happened a lot with the standing liberties. Having a standing liberty with decent definition is not very often.
No, I think I can go get that tube in a minute to show you guys. I just don't know if my camera is even anything you can see. But I mean, like this one here looks like it's like basically in mint condition. Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
Very shiny. So, I mean, you could go to the extent of like spending all day going through all these things and putting, perfect ones in there. I wouldn't worry about that. This is SHTF stuff, right? Or I'm going to just sell a tube at a time. Not even going to care.
Speaking of dimes, let me show you a special tube. A special tube. Let's see if you can guess this one.
I'm just trying to not drop this whole thing. Okay, now this is what I wanted to show you guys. So I hope you can see the difference in these. So these will be two extremes. I'll take the lids off so you can see them easier. Same amount of dimes. So when you're talking dollar face, you're going to pay the same amount of money for these. Okay. If you're talking dollar face and someone doesn't care, most likely you're going to pay more for the Mercury dimes. They're a little bit older, but they do have more wear and tear in them. And, we're probably talking a good, let me see if I can compare the difference. There's about 3 dimes missing worth of silver in here. So you're missing 3 dimes worth of silver, which could be like 3 dozen eggs. Depends on how you ask. It might be 3 dozen eggs and 3 dozen loaves of bread. That not 3 dozen loaves, but a loaf of bread. Worth of silver that's missing here, but these are older. These are going to be easier to use in an SHTF, in my opinion, because people aren't going to have to look at the date as easily. They're going to go, oh yeah, that's an older dime. I get it. With these guys here, the Roosevelts, you're going to, people are going to need to look at the date, and you're going to have to double check to make sure you don't have clad ones in there. Now, of course, you can look at the side if I'm right, and you can see that there's no copper in there. Yes, some of them are dirtier, but they all have the same color across the whole thing. You're not seeing a band of copper in there.
True. So talk
yeah,
about
that's a little thicker.
Clean coin.
About what coin?
This one's a clean coin.
Plain 1K.
A little slippery. Frosty's not allowed to contribute his guessing. He already guessed on my phone. Anybody want to tell me about this coin? Hey, Amy. OC.
And you'll have to tell me comments, Tiger, since I can't see them, if there's any questions.
Okay. Anybody want to tell me about this coin? Frosty's not allowed to say it. He already guessed on my phone.
You stole it. Is that?
Oh, I didn't steal them. I bought a whole freaking tube of them. When did I buy this?
Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong one.
November 30th, 2022.
There you go.
So close to 3 years ago. No, that's not a Tim coin. No one's getting it. Should I just tell him?
Yeah, tell him what it is.
Do you know what it is, Surfer?
I can't see well enough, unfortunately.
That, I'll give you a hint. That is not Roosevelt. They made it with an anticipation to see about changing the face on the dime, and this person's wife shot it down. Did not want Roosevelt to be taken off the dime, despite her husband being an excellent, excellent president. This, my friends, is Ronald Reagan. And it's not 90%, it's 999.
So is it a replica of the design?
This was the design. They made it to try to get Congress to allow a change on the actual dime. I don't know if it has numismatic rarity or not. If anyone knows, it'll be Frosty.
Yeah, it'll only have that if it's labeled as like a specific kind of proof.
Yeah, this is 999. It doesn't say dime or anything on there. Yeah, so technically it would be considered a round, but it was made to get people interested in having Reagan replace Roosevelt on the dime. And Nancy Reagan shot it down, which really bums me out because I think Roosevelt did a good job, but considering he confiscated from the people and he created certain programs that got people more and more reliant on the government, where Reagan always wanted to have smaller government.
Plus, I think it's good to change these every once in a while. I mean, the quarters and the dimes are due for, you can have a change to them.
That
But
would take an act of Congress.
I know, but the problem is they're not made out of silver,
True.
so it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, but the way that coin acts are, the only way to change it is Congress has to make certain decisions.
Yep.
And if they're not willing to do that, nothing changes. In fact, I did a video on executive orders, but I started off with the Constitution, then went to a lot of the coin acts, and then went into the executive orders. Learned a lot while making that video, so it worked pretty well.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, if anyone wants to learn about how executive orders work and the coin acts and what parts of the Constitution talks about our money, then feel free to. Yeah, I agree with you, Czech. Roosevelt's been on there a long time. I'd rather see Ronald on there. Ronald, I love that man. I still miss him to this day. So, personally, if he wasn't dead, I'd like to see him, be part of our government still to this very day, although he had his 2 terms. But, he was amazing. He was, in my opinion, he was one of the best presidents we've ever had. And funny as can be. Oh my goodness, that man was just hilarious.
He was pretty funny.
I saw him do a debate, and the moderator was asking him about his age, and he spun it. He's talked about that he won't be holding. He doesn't want to really talk about age too much because he doesn't want to hold his opposition's youth and inexperience against him, and the whole place burst down in laughter. Include, I think it was Mondale he ran against.
Yeah, no, he knew how to roast people pretty good.
Oh yeah, and Trump does too, but Trump is kind of harsh. Well, Ronnie was just funny.
No, Trump destroys people. That's what he does.
Yeah, I was watching something last night on YouTube, the art of the insult, and Trump is great at the insult. Ronnie was funny when he delivered an insult. I miss that man.
Look at this tiger. I'm starting to get a little history on my Sigma here.
What are you seeing?
History sticking to it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wearing gloves because I get too much history on my fingers sometimes.
Well, if you lick it, it'll be just fine.
Well, it is silver, so it's probably killed all the bugs on this stuff.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Frostbite's probably cringing right now because he did a live stream so many months ago about
licking coins.
Yeah, not putting those in your mouth because you don't want what sort of garbage is on the surface of the dimes or any of the constitutional silver. Just absolutely cringed about that. It was so funny to watch him.
Well, I'll tell you, it probably won't do any more damage than the news does to your brain.
Well, that's true too.
So I've been seeing videos of a bunch of women hurrying and taking a bunch of Tylenol after the Trump administration came out and said that Tylenol reiterated it, the warning on Tylenol when you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so now all these pregnant women that are very liberal are hurrying and taking as much Tylenol as they can, and they're filming themselves doing it to prove that their kid's not going to be autistic. Well, I don't know that I would even gamble with that. Seems really stupid.
These people hate Trump so much that they're willing to do anything to oppose him.
Yeah, so
taking then their unborn.
The memes are now like, okay, please don't skydive without a parachute on. It's all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be someone who wants to do it because that was said.
So I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you go skydiving, you probably should take a parachute. It's probably a good idea.
Or just don't jump out of the plane.
Yeah, or just don't do that. And I was considering jumping out of a plane in Hawaii, and OC Stacker told me not to do it. And he brought up the fact that in Hawaii, that's where they have the most accidents with parachutes.
Well, I will tell you that one of my very, very, very favorite people, I saw a YouTube video where this person was skydiving for the first time. I had, hey, David Carlisle, thank you for being a member for a month at Malayan Tiger. Thank you. And it'd be interesting to see if anybody in the chat can guess who that person was jumping out of the airplane. And if you guys know me pretty well, you'll probably get get the answer correctly.
I'm guessing it was Lynette Zhang.
No. Correct gender, but no. We're at 44 likes. How awesome is that?
Let's get Tiger to 100 likes, guys.
I'll be giving away a silver quarter for every 25 likes.
There you go.
Were you there for Yankees live stream? I think you were there for Yankees live
last night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My goodness, he was having the problems that I would have. It's like,
yeah, that whole thing melted down.
Yeah, wow, it did. Did you see what I put in there?
Yeah, I think you may have gone just a little far on some of the comments.
Well, you got to keep in mind,
he was sweating pretty good.
Yeah, he was. And he laughed so hard when he read it. This was, the wheel is broken. Rig Nation wins. I tease him so much, and he works so hard. No AA. I didn't curse him. I don't have the ability to do that.
That's funny.
But I was thinking to myself, I actually felt bad for him, even though I love teasing him. But I was thinking to myself, oh my God, that something would happen to me. He's IT and I'm not. Usually I'm asking for help to fix stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, the stream stuff's not easy. Someone that does do a lot of computer stuff, the OBS stuff, I still can't figure out how to even use it. I just walked away from it.
Yeah, I knew. I was wondering about that because I know you were leaning that way.
I just can't get anybody to. I need someone to build it for me, and my cameras on my Mac are all stuck, so that's why I have to do my phone. I can't even get it to work.
So your phone's all goofed up. I mean, your computer's
and this won't let me focus. This is what you get. There's no way of changing the aperture on anything. So I just walk at the beach and talk. That's kind of what I do, or just throw it up on my phone.
Yeah, I feel bad for you on that.
I got to take these walks on the beach when it's like 75, 78 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, probably sweating pretty hard on it.
It's getting pretty warm,
which is a little bit on the strange side.
So our summer here is late. So our best weather here in Southern California is actually from about September to November. Maybe a little bit into August.
Does that also happen with, say, San Francisco and Monterey, or is that a little cooler there?
It's really cold in August in San Francisco. I don't know why it does that.
Yeah,
it's really cold.
I was there as a medical student doing some rotations at the Presidio back when I was in the Army. And I also did a couple times at Fort Ord and got a chance to hang out at Monterey and
There you
go
go.
go to oh shoot, was it Monterey Beach that has the Hog's Breath that's owned by Clint Eastwood?
I'm not positive.
I don't know. It's been a long time because that was back when the original, Top Gun movie came out. That tells you how long ago that was and how old I am. I love that movie.
It was a good movie. They did a good job on the one that they just did recently too.
Oh yeah, I saw that in one of the airplanes when I was flying flying with Delta. Like,
Tron, not so good. I didn't like this last Tron. Wasn't that great?
I wasn't a big Tron fan to start with.
The second one they did a few years back, that was pretty cool. I like
Oh,
that one.
is this the third one?
It's the third one now.
Yeah, I didn't like Tron initially. Just didn't didn't do anything for me.
It's because it's a computer thing, Tiger.
That might be so, but back then, uh, thanks, Amy, appreciate it. So she says I'm younger than her. She's lying. I'm really old. So, but no, back then I kind of liked computers, but computers didn't rule the world back then. When you saw your patients, you wrote your notes on paper, you wrote your orders on paper. The downside is that you couldn't get your information fast. So the attending physicians would send the medical students to go retrieve all the information. So we're running all over the hospital trying to get everything to bring it back to the attending. Then they'd quiz us to death. We didn't have time to look up anything. You didn't have cell phones that with smartphones. You had to go look it up in magazines, in medical magazines, and journals, and had to spend hours in the library trying to find something with the Dewey Decimal System. So you come back, and then the attendings are quizzing you to death, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know. So I was like, that was, and I remember because I was a second year medical student and I was doing a rotation in internal medicine 2 years before official rotations. But the reason I did it was so that I could get paid. I had active duty for training and annual training. So that gave me a total of 8 weeks to be able to get paid as a medical student, which got me through the summer before the next year came around. And then I had to get my student loans, not only for tuition, but also to live off of, because I wasn't working like almost every other student was. So, this guy's like, you are the worst medical student. I had to keep telling him I'm a second year. I haven't even finished my classroom work. And why are you here then? Not told him the same thing I told you. It's like, I'm still learning. It's just that you're expecting third and fourth year level out of a first to second year student. So, but back then we didn't have computers. The computers were mainly there for billing purposes.
Well, my undergrad, we still did everything in, we had to look everything up still.
Yeah, and sometimes I miss that.
And then my master's program, everything was live client projects. So we didn't do any case studies. We didn't do a lot of, we did some book work, but most of it was consulting projects, which was pretty cool. And it's pretty unique in business to do that.
I see in here, Tandies are great or were great. Eh, we got a Tandy from Radio Shack.
Candies. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, brought it home. My dad and I worked hard at trying to get that thing to work for us. We took it back within a week because we couldn't figure out how to work it. You know, it wasn't until years later I was in medical school and we had uh, a note service that all the students participated in. You had to, you were either one writing the notes, and then there was another person would take the notes that were handwritten and put it into a, get this, Apple IIe or an Apple IIc, if you remember those days.
Yeah, I've got a story on that.
And then we had a dot matrix printer that would print out on mimeograph paper, put it into a mimeograph, and it was a whole lot less expensive, both per sheet and for the hardware, to go ahead and make that out. And then we had this whole, kind of like pigeonhole thing where everyone got in line. You took a sheet of paper for all those sheets that were printed out, and then you had your notes for like what was about 2 days before. And study, study, study.
Well, and I think like my sister, we got an Apple II. I don't know if it was an E or not, but we got one of those for Christmas. And on Christmas morning, my youngest sister took the mouse and somehow put the entire operating system in the trash and deleted the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And so my dad was freaking out because he couldn't even show everybody how it worked. And I think it only had 5 megabytes of RAM, which is probably um, not even as much as this Sigma machine has.
Oh, yeah. And if you remember, they used to have those 5.5, 5.25 floppy drives.
Yep.
The Apple IIc was what I had. That's the one they said was portable. Okay. The central processing unit and the keyboard were all one thing. And then what would prop it up was also the handle. You could carry it, and that was the portable computer. It didn't have the monitor attached to it or nothing, but it was portable in those days. It was so portable that for me to have a small monochrome screen and the computer and a dot matrix printer, because that was the technique tech of the time, it would fit into a small foot locker. If that gives you any idea how old I am. I thought I was the cat's meow because I had a portable computer.
Well, you know what dates you more than the computer?
What's that? Some of my
Saying
old
that
girlfriends.
no, saying that it's the cat's meow. That's what my father-in-law says. He's like 83.
I'm not quite that
I
old.
know, but I'm Gen X, and not very many Gen X. I'm at the end of it, but not very many Gen X people say it's the cat's meow. I'm just laughing. It's good.
I think 1962. Thanks, AA. I love you too. He says, "You are old, Tiger." And Check Stacker says he found a 5.25 floppy disk in his attic.
Yeah, I have original architecture drawings that I did in high school. Um, we used to do those on 286 computers, if you guys remember those.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh my goodness, I was in college, and my college had an excellent science program. I was originally chemistry major and later double majored chemistry and biology, not biochemistry, because that would be considered its own major, which we did not have. So I wanted to increase my chances of getting into medical school. So I decided I'll take a minor in biology. So what I had with what I did have already accomplished in biology, plus the courses I needed for med school, plus the courses to get a minor, I would actually be a major. Yes, you are a. She don't let her tell you any different, people. That girl is very young. You know, we have to hold her back because she wants to. She could go into the next beauty pageant and be a serious contestant. Don't let her tell you any fibs. So anyway, so I declared a double major, and both departments went nuts. How are you going to do that? Yeah, how are you going to do that? You don't have time. That summer, I took summer classes to get the credits I needed to get the double major because I really wanted to make myself a contender for medical school. So the double major did help a good bit. Now, when I went to interviews, why'd you do that to yourself? So I can get here, guys. Although one of my interviews, it was actually the medical school I went to. They said something to me. Says, "Why you want to be a doctor?" And I gave them all the altruistic reasons, and then I got a little wild hair in me. I said, "Besides, with my handwriting, it's the only thing I can do to make a living." They didn't like that so much. Still surprised I got into the medical school.
Yeah, well, it would be definitely tough. How many? What are we up to on thumbs up now?
Let me refresh the page. We are at 58.
58.
58.
How many are watching?
33 watching at this moment.
All right, you guys have to hit it twice then. I don't think that works, but
Well, I even hit it myself.
there you go. Okay, so going back to some metal stuff, Tiger.
Yes.
When did you first start stacking?
2021. I did a whole video on that.
Okay, that's when I started doing it too. Why did you start doing it?
I first started with my friend Dan. He got me into stocks, which I've never done well with stocks. And once again, I lost. Hey, Ringmaster Ray, welcome. So basically, I lost on that, and then he talked me into doing crypto, and I lost on that, but not as much. And then all of a sudden, a flood of memories came by. What I'd learned from my grandfather about silver dollars, how silver used to be money in the day. And, then I started remembering how the price of gasoline went through the roof and how much houses went through the roof. My parents bought a farm for $35,000 in the early 1970s. And when they passed away, my siblings sold it for well over $200,000. It's like, it's the same damn property. What happened? So all these memories started flooding back, including, by the way, sorry, remembering Adam West Batman when he was millionaire Bruce Wayne. And when the one came out with Michael Keaton, it was billionaire Bruce Wayne. And all these things started coming to memory, as well as what I just experienced. Like, there's a problem. There's a serious problem. And then I started looking into gold and silver. And I had bought from American Hartford Gold. Never used them. They will rob you blind. If any of these companies need a celebrity, and also they tell you this is the only company I would buy my metals from, run hard, because you are paying higher rates and you're paying for that celebrity.
Well, you're not paying spot prices. You're paying whatever the product they have and the price that they charge for it.
So I didn't know what I was doing. It was my very first purchase, and they wouldn't take anything less than $10,000 as a purchase. Which, of course, nowadays I'd be like, right, get off my phone. And I've done that to a lot of people, by the way. I've gotten all sorts of phone calls over the years. Hey, buddy, we haven't talked to you in so long. No, I don't care if they're real or not. No, You don't know me, get off my phone. So what I then learned was with about a month later, you know how the computer always seems to know what you're doing? It then,
Yeah, little spy devices.
yeah. So it sends me something called Money Metals Exchange. And my friend who got me into crypto and stocks that I got out of said, "Go to this pawn shop. They are the best in town." And that's when I met Shavella and Teresa and everyone there. And they started teaching me what to look on the edges of constitutional to see if it was clad or silver. Learned a lot of good stuff from them. So I started buying from them, and I saw Money Metals Exchange, looked at the prices from what I compared the prices from what I bought from American Hartford Gold, and found out how how much they had jacked the rates. I bought a Volcambi combi bar, two of them that were gold. It was $500 more that I bought from American Hartford Gold than what Money Metals was trying to sell them for. And I realized I'm never going to get my money back. And getting back to them was going to be nothing more than a big hassle, and I wasn't going to win. So I just decided that was that price was the price of my education. I looked at it as tuition. Hey, Matt T Coins, MT
Yeah,
Stacker.
has anybody in the chat done something similar to that?
Uh, if you've done something like that, like what I did initially, put a one in the chat. And if you've always been smarter for whatever reason, you had someone teach you, you may be a family member, then go ahead and put a two in the chat. AA says she got taken in 2021. So get this, because of that, I would do my spreadsheets by hand back then. I'd spend all night putting my spreadsheets together by hand, and I was sitting about 70, somewhere in the 70s. And Darth Wanker, getting from JM Bullion, SD Bullion, you did way better than I did. So War says he never got taken advantage of. So, I forgot where I left off. War got me a little bit distracted. Check Stacker said he got taken advantage of also. And Amy got taken advantage of, but not as bad as I did. Oh, yeah, I remember where I left. I was about 70% for the longest time. So for every dollar that I spent on precious metals, and I averaged it out, I was somewhere in the 70s as far as how much money I'd kept by spot price compared to what I'd paid for. And the Money Metals Exchange pulled it down. Well, now that spot price has seriously gone up, even with current day's purchases, I am above what spot price is, because all the past metals has contributed to the increase of what I get to keep according to the math. So, I've basically we've doubled or more in silver and in gold. So I have actually gained up to 50% when you throw it all together and you let it average out mathematically. How about you?
Yeah, no, yeah, same thing. So, I mean, for me, when I started in 2021. I had already received for a couple of years. For 2 years, I was getting, actually, for 3 years, I was getting these silver bars from my dad for my birthday. And he never checked the value of them. I probably shouldn't have checked it either, because once I checked it and told him, they stopped coming. So,
Wow.
I was getting these $25 silver bars that were only made in Las Vegas for about a year.
Okay.
And they carry a pretty good premium on eBay if you try to buy them there. And anyway, I got 3 of those, and I wanted to figure out what this was worth. And when I found out that they were, people were asking about $1,000 for them. Some places maybe $1,500 for a 25-ounce bar back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy moly, that's a lot of money. And after that, when my dad stopped sending them, I got $100 check. So he thought those were worth about $100. So definitely check your stuff. Find out how much things are worth before you start handing it out to people. But anyway, I could see inflation. So much money had been printed. I was aware of that. I've got a business minor, undergrad in marketing, and then I've got a master's in advertising, public relations, and what we call predictive analytics today.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm pretty well read when it comes to technology stuff and inflation and banking. Plus, having grown up in a banking family, one of my first jobs was selling mortgages.
Okay.
And I knew my parents' first house was $30,000 in California, and now that house is worth about $1 million. And the house hasn't gotten any nicer, which means that the money has become more worthless over time. So, I knew inflation was coming, and that's when I started getting into gold. And that's the first thing I did. I didn't really start buying silver until probably 2022. I went for gold first. And I was just trying to hedge inflation, is what I was doing.
I can't blame you. I bought some
Um,
gold on my first purchase, but
then I found like Empire Precious Metals, and I found Silver Dragons. I think a couple of these auction sites where I started buying, silver off of that. Then I started realizing I was really overpaying for some of the silver in the auction format.
oh yeah, me too.
So, I stopped doing that. I didn't stop the auctions. I stopped overpaying. So at that point, I then had, you know, a couple of computer screens up anytime I went into one of those auctions, and I knew exactly what it was selling for on eBay, and I knew exactly what a good deal was and what was not a good deal. And so then I was able to pick up a couple pre-33 gold coins for well below spot price.
I don't blame you. I started doing that also. I have two.
Oh, and Guido stacking was the other one I did a lot too.
Yeah, Guido was always a little bit more fair than a lot of other places.
I think he had lower needs and overhead, and he didn't try to
Well, if
push
you
it
ever
too hard.
sold to him, he would buy pretty low, then he would pass that price savings on to whoever was buying from him.
Yep.
But and I don't get me wrong, I like Stormy, but let's call it what it is. Stormy likes his money. He loves his money, and he enjoys whenever he got people to go up against each other in bidding wars. That's the
Well,
whole thing about the Stormy Dome.
with Stormy's thing, it was more about the entertainment and the experience.
I think that is true too, and the same thing with Silver Dragons. He had his own way of creating the entertainment. But
Yeah.
if you got a bidding war going on, they were both in. Hey, Brown Sugar. So they both really, enjoyed creating an atmosphere of a bidding war. And I
Totally. So what I decided when I was buying from those auctions, once I kind of understood how to like better judge if I'm getting a good price or not, I still attended them. I still bought stuff. I wanted to support the community.
Same here.
But I better understood, how far I should take a bid. And then, you know, to me, it was having the fun. You know, sometimes if there was something cool that I was having a hard time finding, I'd go bid it up for fun because I
Mhm.
could.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know, we enjoyed doing it and stuff. And I think it's a bummer all those have gone away. None of those are. I don't know if any of that's ever coming back.
Well,
Um,
I think a large part of that. Um, let me answer that here in a second. I want to throw a big shout out to Brown Sugar. She sent me a gift, and she didn't have to. I didn't even know it was coming until it was coming. She sent me a hoodie that on the front and on the back of it is a tiger's face growling at you. Uh,
nice.
yeah, very nice. And I want to put a big shout out to her because I didn't know that was coming and told her she shouldn't have many times. And she did it. In fact, she even told me last night on Long Live Coins spin and bin. It says, "You do so many nice things for people in the community. It's about time that you have your turn." I was like, oh my goodness, what a sweetheart. So thank you again,
Yeah,
Bob.
that's awesome. And you know what I'll say to all of this too is it's about community. Like I wanted to support these guys.
Same here.
You know, some people will go out and say, "Hey, you guys are crooks and you're trying to do stuff." Well, no, they let you know it was an auction. You didn't have to buy.
No, you didn't.
Um, and it's up to you to go determine what the price of something's worth, right? They're not there to try to make sure that someone doesn't overpay. As a matter of fact, I think Stormy sent me a shirt that says I overpaid. So
Yeah, I needed one of those too.
I have that, and I've made a video with it about how to do the online auctions on YouTube. So I don't have any bad feelings with any of those guys.
Neither
I
do I.
actually enjoyed it a lot. Um, Once I started my channel, though, it was hard to have the time to make it to all of those auctions.
Same here.
And then my company gave me a massive haircut. I took a 30% cut in 2023, while inflation was skyrocketing. Um, and I've probably only clawed back about 5% of that haircut. And so I just didn't have the funds anymore to keep adding.
Except for
Uh,
that $1,900 gold that you got from Stormy that time. And then he
well,
realized that he made a mistake and he sold it for well under what was worth at that moment.
and I kind of waited to bid on it. And I'm like, if no one else is going to bid on it, I'll do that. That doesn't mean I had the money for it at the moment. I was like, that's a good deal. We're going to bid on that and find the money later. Um, so that's what I did on that one. And then I came up with the money. I went and sold something else. But you got to find deals out there, right? Like all of this constitutional junk silver here that you guys are seeing was purchased at spot price, and the place I bought it from had a higher price. I asked if they would match it, and they said yes. And so then I went ahead and bought it. Um, and I do like to test things out like this. Like, I can look at these, and you're gonna have like a 99% chance it's all real, right?
Yeah.
But because I may sell some of this back, or I may give them away as giveaways, by me doing this now, it just allows me to double check. So if there's anything fake, I can go get a replacement coin for it. It lets me kind of determine how worn some of these are. Like you guys could see, that one's a lot more worn than that one is. Much higher. That's like 3 or 4 more coins. Um, Oops, sorry guys. And this also lets me just double check. So when I go to send this out to people, I can I don't have to worry about hurrying and checking it before I send it out. Um, it's maybe a little annoying to do all this. And if you don't have one of these testers and you've got to go ping all this, there's no way you're going to do that. That's
No,
going to take forever.
no. Yankee never does his ping when he's buying a lot of junk. He just trusts, reading the edge and reading the date.
Yeah, and you can do that, and it's pretty good. But for me, part of it's this to show you guys and to double check. And but yeah, what Tiger's talking about, I mean, honestly, if you take it all like this, right, and I look at the edge of it, I don't see anything here that's not silver.
Yeah.
And I'm going kind of the extra step here in kind of filtering these based on how worn they are.
Oh yeah,
Like 3 different categories, but you don't have to do that. Like, don't feel like you guys have to go do that stuff.
I did it because it was fun. I would turn on music or turn on someone's channel and just do that on my Sigma and that whole thing.
But I was up until 2 this morning doing this with the quarters. I finished the quarters yesterday.
So if you notice, I label everything. Now this tube doesn't hold 50; it holds 60 coins. Why? Because this is the early days when I didn't know what I was doing, and I bought these tubes. These are penny tubes, so it holds 10 more dimes than a regular tube.
There
And
you go.
with the exception of with the proof dimes, they barely got the threads of the cap on. So I had to really tape it down because I wanted to keep the same number of coins in each tube. So, that whole guardhouse box has 10 extra dimes per tube. So if I ever had to, let's say I had to sell, and that was my option to sell that, I'd have to point out that there were 10 more dimes per tube times the whole number of tubes that make up that box. And speaking of boxes, hey farmer, welcome. So honestly, we talked about this earlier. What's better, putting them in tubes and in a guardhouse box, or keeping them in a bag? I can't remember how many would be in a bag. And there's no guarantee that someone didn't take some out at a later point and you think you have more than what you have. Plus, if you have to bug out, you're carrying a bag that might slip through your hands. The tie on the top might come undone. I'm a little too much of an OCD type of person. So I like them in tubes, labeled for my wife if she survives me, labeled on the top, so when it's sitting in the box, you can see what it is. Well, this one it says 90% Barber dimes, and that's the way it is all throughout the box. And then the box gets put on top, and you can carry the box. Granted, it might be a little bit more awkward, but I know exactly what I have in there because even the box is labeled that there's 60 dimes in each tube. So
Yep.
it allows me to keep my memory of which is which, but more importantly, my wife, God love her, she don't listen to me. I leave notes for her all over the place. What things are, what I bought them for, all that type of stuff, so that if she needs them, she knows what they are. And if I'm not home for whatever reason, she will have a clue what I'm talking about. So, which leads me into one more segue. I have a video coming out. It's in its editing form. I got to do more work on it, but it's nearly done. My brother-in-law is going to soup it up as he always does. It's a remake of my video that I called "You're Dead, Your Family's in Trouble," which was one of my first videos. You're going to want to watch this. It's better done than the original one, because in the original format, when I'm trying to learn how to make videos, lots of pauses, lots of stuttering, lots of thinking while the camera was rolling. And now that I've rewatched, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so boring. So I've redone it. It's going to be a lot more entertaining. And I have a very special message for all of you about you and your families and what's going on. You're going to watch it to the end of the video. I promise you, you're going to be shocked. But I have a special announcement to make at the end of the video. And I want you all to never have lemons, to always have lemonade. So feel free to go ahead and watch that when I get it released. So that's my take on that for all of you. How far along you got there, Surfer? Did you get more stuff done?
I got more stuff done. I don't know how I'm going to get all this done. I mean, look at this. That's how far we got through. It was about this full.
That's
Well, maybe not that full, but we've gotten down here. So you gotta decide if it's worth your time, guys, to go through and do it all, to put it in these. I'll tell you why I like to do it this way. This is an easy way to sell them and to store them. What I'm not doing is there's too many of them. I do not have time to go check all the dates. I'm not aware of any dime that could be in here that's going to be super crazy expensive. But I also I'm not too worried about that. That's not why I'm buying this stuff. Now, if I were to find out, hey, you may have a dime in there that's worth $1,000, okay, then maybe I would go back through and try to look through some of these if I had time. Right now, I just don't have time. It would cost me more than $1,000 to go through all this. So even if I have one of those dimes, it's not even worth the time to go do it. Why am I checking this? One, I'm going to be giving this stuff. A lot of this gets, not all of this, but dimes are what I'm giving away. I've got about 10, I think 10 quarters I'm sending out here. Today I've got to finish getting the packaging ready for it. And so a lot of these end up being gauze. I want to make sure that they're good. And then this is the first time I've bought constitutional for them from this source. I want to double check it, make sure it's all good. But honestly, I wouldn't go too crazy. If you don't have a Sigma machine, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry and go test my stuff or it's all going to be fake. I wouldn't worry about that. I've never found a constitutional / junk fake. I just haven't found that. I've found Morgan fakes. I have found, copy coins in a tube of rounds that it shouldn't have been in. You can find things like that, but for the most part, if you're buying from a reputable source, you're really not going to run into a big situation where you're going to have a bunch of fake stuff. The harder thing to test is if you get monster boxes that are sealed. There's no way to test that except for the weight. And, you need to be buying it from the right place. And those get passed all over the place. And if you cut it, you lose about $200 value of it. So, you've got that. Now, if you're buying a monster box that's not sealed, or you just want to double check it, no, you're going to lose $200 by cutting the seal. But you're going to need to go through and check, all those coins. But you could go and check one tube, see what the weight is, weigh all the tubes. If they weigh well, maybe that's good enough for you. But I do recommend checking all of it. That way, everything you have in your possession is pure silver, or at least it's what it says it is, right? This is 90%.
I've very rarely did I get a tube that had a seal on it. And certainly never got a monster box that was sealed. But I want to make
those are big bulk purchases.
What's that?
They're big bulk purchases to buy those things. I mean,
oh yeah.
About 2 years ago, you could get a monster box for 14,000 of Silver Eagles. For 14 grand. Now that monster box is about 31,000.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And I have a monster box of Eagles, but I bought them little bit by little bit, and and they're a menagerie of conditions, a menagerie of dates in them. And I just wanted it full. So I did the same thing with maples as well, and I have a guardhouse box, which is basically a monster box of silver dollars. Half Morgan, half piece. So I really hit hard, and probably will again in the future, hit hard on constitutional, not only because it's a good buy at this current time, as long as you're willing to hold it until the dollar value, the spot price comes up on it, and people are willing to give you that type of funds back for it. Saw you when you were talking with silver. The silver heist, if I remember correctly, you guys were talking about the same thing.
Well, if you remember, Tiger, not too far ago, spot had a really big premium,
Oh,
and Silver Eagles had a crazy high premium. I think they were like $15 or $20 a coin premium.
exactly.
So these things go in cycles, guys. Like there's going to be a time when the best buy out there right now is this stuff, junk silver. Your second best buy is pre-33 gold.
Yeah.
And if you're not buying that stuff and you think, I know people that say, "Hey, I'm not buying pre-33 gold. It's not worth it." It's, why would I want that? I want the bullion stuff. Well, there's a lot of reasons that you might want it. And right now, one of the biggest ones is it's on sale relative to what the premium price is typically compared to bullion.
Exactly.
So if you're ever wanting any of that, right now is the time to be loading up on that stuff.
And for both constitutional gold and constitutional silver.
Yep. And I don't I haven't really inquired to exactly why it's so low at the moment. I know things go in cycles. But talking to Andy Scheckman, I mean, he's like, I've never seen it this low relative. So, there must be a bunch of people unloading it because that's, they don't make any more of it.
No, that's true. That's true. I did a video not long ago where I showed people a website to go on, and all you got to do is change the price of silver. It's called it will give you the melt value. Now I will change it to the spot price instead of the melt price, and then just put in the number of coins that you have. Now I fudge it a little bit because it doesn't give you every type of coin that is out there for dimes, quarters, halves, etc. So if I have barbers, let's say a barber halves, um, that particular website doesn't have that as an option anymore. The one before that I used to use gave you that option, but that website's gone. And there's one from AppMax that's out there, but I've done it twice as a comparison. It doesn't give you the same value as it should. So something's wrong with their calculator. So
They also all go off of different spot prices.
well, you can change the spot price on this one. With the AppMax one, what they put on there is what they put on there. You can't change it.
Yeah, that's because it's AppMax.
Yeah, well, there you go. So you get a chance to see your troy ounces, your grams, and your fiat dollars that it represents, and you don't have to do any math with it. Although all of them will put the same value, whether it's 20 Barber dimes, 20 Merck dimes, 20 Roosevelt dimes. It all gives you the same value. So it will kind of you can't calculate everything unless you really want to spend a lot of time doing it. So my spreadsheet is based upon certain expectations. A barber dime weighing as much as a Roosevelt dime, etc. Um, also, my total value of what I own is based on spot price. You can sell it. You might get more than spot. You might get at spot. You might get less than spot.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I look at spot even with my collectibles.
Exactly. Same here.
Because
Even with my
that's
memo.
guaranteed to be what you're going to get for it.
Exactly. And it gives you a mark. It gives you a benchmark at which you can figure out what you have in dollars and also in weight. I mean, you and I both have a Silver Dragons golf ball. So
yeah, I would argue too, though, weight is more important than dollar value, guys.
I agree with you.
Because at some point, at some point, a silver ounce is probably going to be worth $2,000. And, I can't tell you how much a burrito is going to cost at that time. I went to go get a burrito on Friday from my favorite place around here, and it was $12 for a bean and cheese burrito.
Yeah. That used to be a whole lot less back then.
That's crazy. They just upped the price like in the last month by $2. Actually, yeah, by $2. And then, things just keep going up. But what you're going to see with the metals too is they're going to outpace the inflation rate. We're in a bull market right now, so there's a lot of people telling you it's about to go crashing down because it's overbought, or whatever indicator they're looking at. That doesn't apply as much when you're in a market like this.
Yeah. The question I have to keep asking myself, you all have to ask your questions to yourself, for yourself, and certainly don't base it upon what I say. But I keep wondering, are we entering the hyperinflationary stage that my first teacher, Lynette Zhang, talked about for so many years? So, are we in that? Are we going into that situation? And if that is the case, as soon as that lady says it's time, I'm getting out of as only the amount of metals I have to get out of, and I'm going to pay off the house, the cars, anything else that I have to pay off to keep as much metal as I can. Because the way she describes it, and I think she's right. She's been writing about a lot of stuff over the decades. There's going to be a hyperinflation spike. Then there's going to be something like 2 or 3 resets down, and before it starts coming down, I want to get out, pay off everything with the least amount of metals liquidated. So,
yeah, I don't think we're there yet.
I don't think we are either. That's one.
I think we're there when you start to see prices moving monthly. They're not quite doing that.
True.
And then true hyperinflation, depending on the definition person you talk to, is going to be like where prices adjust daily. That's like Venezuela.
Yeah.
Where they had to pay you twice a day because the price of everything would fluctuate that fast.
Yeah.
And you'd have to, on your way home, you'd have to hurry and go buy eggs so that your money didn't lose a ton of value.
Yeah, you could get the amount of stuff that you needed. Which brings me to a very interesting video I saw back when Lynette Zhang was with ITM Trading. She showed a clip of a young lady in Venezuela who went ahead and went to a grocery store and brought one of those $1 billion bolivars, and she pulled it out of her pocket. And they told her, it's kind of hard, Tiger, to tell yet. We're not there yet to sell some to pay bills. Been there, done that, Amy.
I sell to pay bills when I need to pay bills. Period.
Exactly.
I buy when I have money to buy.
A year ago, I had sepsis, and I was basically 2 months without income. So I sold silver to pay it. And the year before, I think it was the year before, I had a situation where my accountant called me up and says, there's a special thing going on right now. The state of West Virginia is mandating $13,000 more of taxes from you. But if you pay it before Friday, you're getting $5,000 worth of credit against your federal taxes. So I either could pay it late and got no benefit from the feds, or I paid it as quick as possible, and I had about half of it. And I did a video on it called "The Feds Forced Me to Sell My Silver." It was at the time the best video I ever had until Chevelle came along. So, but the thing is that I got $5,000 worth of Fed credit for paying off the West Virginia one quickly. And, when I also had the sepsis, I sold my silver to pay my bills. I felt horrible, because I'm used to being a breadwinner. But my wife and you, Surfer, and a number of other people said, listen, that's what it's there for. And
Well, this is money, right? So,
yeah,
in my opinion, if you're stacking silver, this is your savings, it's your money, it's what you're going to go spend. Now, something like this that's gold, um, this is kind of a fun collectible type thing. I picked this up for about 5% below spot price at one of our coin shows we did.
okay.
And then I sent it in for grading and it came in as a 70. This kind of a thing, I unload these if I need to, especially when I buy them right. But for me, the most part, gold is a little bit more of a is wealth insurance. So, I don't sell my life insurance policy because I have medical bills. So I tend to hold on to those. But when it comes to a medical bill or something like that that I have to do, or and I had one a month ago. Maybe it's been maybe a month and a half ago. My wife's like, "Hey, we need $5,000 for this medical treatment, not covered by insurance."
Yeah,
Okay,
is that the truth?
let me go find $5,000 real quick, And she's like, I'm at the doctor's office trying to pay right now. I'm like, great. I need a little warning. Um, Funny thing is, I actually was at another doctor's office selling some gold to him at like an hour earlier. So the Lord does work in mysterious ways, by the way. And so I was able to sell that gold just below retail to someone else. And I was at the bank depositing the check right when my wife called and said, I need that. It worked out.
That's true.
I don't normally do that with gold though. Usually it's more silver for me because silver to me is what I'm going to use for barter. It's what I'm going to use to pay the bills.
Well, not only
Um,
that, it's usually more volatile. Not right now, but usually more volatile. So you have a chance to buy it back at or approximately what you sold it for.
Correct.
So that's the reason I went to the silver, because I was hoping to buy it back at the same price on a dip or as close as possible, and I did for a lot of it. So I was pretty tickled with that. Um, Want to put a call out to Silver Heist, who did a really good video or live stream with you. I really enjoyed that. In fact, I watched it twice.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was a good live stream. If you guys haven't seen the live stream we did on Friday, it's really good.
I really enjoyed that a
And
lot.
Tiger, one thing I'll recommend too. We're not doing it tonight, but I've been trying the vertical format on YouTube, and they're definitely promoting those videos a lot more. So I'm getting about
How to do that?
5 or 6 times um, the amount of viewers, and a lot of new people that haven't normally seen the videos.
That would that's kind of interesting. I wonder how you do that on a computer, let alone on a computer with a
You
stream.
have to do it on a phone, as far as I know.
Yeah. I know that Frosty knows how to dual live stream, once on a vertical and once horizontal at the same time.
Now, this is the nicest. Look at this one, Tiger. This is the nicest one I've had come in.
Oh, you might want to send that off then. That's a good
1940,
brief.
1943. I don't see any special date for that, but this one's in good shape. So when I get something like that, I put it over to the side.
Yeah, you might want to Google it and see what's going on. And next time you talk to Frosty, ask him what he thinks. I've been looking for what I'm going to show you here. I bought this in August 2022 at the pawn shop. It's a
Oh, there you go.
D over D. And I just recently showed it to Frost. It doesn't have a whole lot of numismatic value. It's a little bit more than your typical Benji. But, I bought it back in 2022, and I couldn't even find the D. It's at the top, very tiny little thing at the top of the bell. and you really need some serious magnification. I used to have a good microscope, but for some reason it went kaplooey on me. So I'm probably going to get another one, but other things are pressing right now, including one of the many things I want to do is get my hands on a bridge for my Sigma Metalytics Pro. Not that I'm really buying big pieces. I quit buying big pieces, but some of the 10 ounces are pretty chunky and won't fit in the two ports. So I want to be able to do that. Plus, this right here, that is 14.45 troy ounces. It's my prototype on an open back for this type of pour. And
That's cool.
when I get free time, I'm going to pour them as a closed back, which I'm sure they're going to make it a whole lot less weight. But I really enjoyed doing that. That was fun. I got a smaller mold to make, and I'm going to put some of those out. And eventually, I'd love to be able to get to this level of pouring. This right here is Angry Warrior Tackle Box.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dude, this guy is so good. Okay. And the letters, these things are just my labels to remind me who I bought it from, when I bought it, and how much I paid. But the guy is so amazing. He does such good work. I'd love to get to his level. This is another one of his pieces. The right to bear arms, Second Amendment. And then you got this one over here. Now this one has a special meaning. Last year, you probably will remember this. This was auctioned off at Wounded Warrior. And Yankee was on my phone at the time. He wanted me to bid against him because he wanted to spend a lot of money on purpose to Wounded Warrior as a contribution. My God, he was laughing like a child getting his favorite toy for Christmas. He was having so much fun. And unfortunately, our friend Thule timed him out when he asked not to have the timer running. And he was like, let's tell me, dude, fight me hard. Fight me hard. Don't let me get this. And because I want to spend a certain amount of money. And then he knew that I was going for one of these. And the other one, number 2, came up, and you won that one, if you remember.
Yep.
And then Yankee outbid me. He outbid you. I'm like, doggone it. He knew I wanted that. Oh, well, he must want him more than I do, because I never hold it against him to beat me. Like, oh, well, someday there'll be another thing comes out. And then he says, I want you to give this to Tiger. I'm like, what? Jaw hit the floor. He comes back on the phone, said, did I just hear that right? Says, yeah, I'm giving it to you. Why would you do that? Because I wanted to donate to Wounded Warrior, but I knew you wanted it, so it's yours. I did a shout-out video for him on that. And you all know that I love the role I play as a tiger. And, I have a great time doing it. I love the brand. But I did something I've never done before. I am going to do it again for something else in the very near future. I threw the gloves off. I took the gloves off because sometimes being super serious is important. and you need to take the fun out because you want to convey a serious message. And I only do that for those reasons. And I hope Nickel Stacking is not here. The dude teased me about gloves and what we don't tell him I said anything about gloves. Whoever tells him, I'm canceling him off my channel. Don't tell Nickel I said that. But no, there's another one coming out very soon where I'm going to carry a very serious message. Actually, it's going to be the next video, which is me talking about wealth left for the family after a death, your death, my death. So please, this video and this message has multiple messages in it, and I'm probably, yeah, you bet your metal, Matt. Gloves are serious business. That's why we got this guy over here wearing gloves finally. Although I think, what do you guys think? We should invest in maybe black magic marker and get those white gloves striped out. Make him kind of like my. I can be Batman. He can be Robin. So, but no, this upcoming video is very serious, and I want you all to get the message, because there's mainly two messages in here, but the second message supports the first. And please be there. So where you at?
Tiger, I'm at the bottom of it here, and I got to run to go make dinner for everybody.
What you making me?
I don't know. It's going to be something from the freezer today.
God bless you.
It's not going to be anything too fancy. I didn't make it to the store the last couple days, so.
Metal Matt, we need a tiger gloves emoji. I'll need Frosty for that because he's good at making stuff like that. Hopefully he's still listening. We can possibly do something like that also. Some of my emojis don't make any sense until I complete the rig series, which is one of my projects while I'm home. I'm currently in between jobs because my previous employer lost their contract, and because they lost their contract, I lost my job. It's a little more complicated than that, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. Frozen pizza.
Well, it's only frozen until you heat it up.
Well, that's true too.
Unless you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to break your teeth.
If you overcook it, it makes it too hard. Yeah, you're going to have crunchy.
So don't do that. Well, hopefully this was helpful to give you guys some fun information while I was doing this activity. I figured, hey, we might as well chat while we're doing this.
Yeah, why not? And I appreciate you coming on board, having a good time with everyone here in the chat. And everyone's been having a good time. The chat rate has been pretty decent for me. So I just wanted to thank you all. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to end the live stream. Let this guy actually get some food for his family. You have what, 3 daughters and 1 son, or is it 2 daughters and 1 son?
2 daughters and 1 son.
Yeah, and they're all hungry young people.
Well, they're not as young as they used to be, but they're all home here at the moment. Come on, Dimes, where are you guys going? And
please tell Surfer we enjoyed his company.
Sunday is usually the day I take care of food. Usually I end up doing something on the barbecue. Get some, a nice steak going and some corn on the cob and watermelon and all that. But life has been kind of busy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, AA. I completely forgot about that. I'm currently at 71 likes. So we're sitting at 2 quarters. Let me set up the harvest the participants. Okay, so those of you who are not participating in chat, hurry up, get something in there because I'm going to start harvesting really, really fast. And then we're going to show the winner. Now, the winner has 2 days, 48 hours to send me a claiming email to thetigerstacker@gmail.com. Deborah Walls is here. I knew some people were out there just lurking and listening. So, feel free to get in there because when I say I'm going to go ahead and start harvesting, I'm not playing around.
Is that like organ harvesting since you're a doctor?
I don't do transplant type of stuff. Although I think that that's a very, very good thing for people to do. It saves lives, but I've often wondered. This is a theological question. How does Jesus feel about giving away your organs after you die? Does he see you as being a hero, or he wants you to keep what you got? I kind of lean towards the first. That's my own personal
I
viewpoint.
think he sees you as a hero. My only question is, do they keep you alive and at the hospital if you're giving out your organs? Because
They
I've
do.
heard
They
I've heard
do.
that that's not the case.
They do. They will if something happens to you and you're on life support. If you pass away, there's a major, major rush to get you into having your organs harvested before it's too late. So there you go. So let's go ahead here into the participants. And like I thought, there were lurkers in there. It's basically doubled since, I had told everyone to get the name in there. So let's get over to the tiger wheel.
Wheel of Tigerness.
Unlike Yankees wheel, this one's totally not rigged, thanks to Professor Rigdabortis, who fixed what Yankee broke, that crazy man. So, paste without formatting, and there you go. So this will be for the first of 2 silver quarters. Like I said, 48 hours. If you're past 48 hours, you forfeit it. So don't dilly-dally. By the way, I'm not very fast at getting things ready to be sent, but I do send them. Ask Barbara Wall. She waited a little bit, and she was like, "Did you forget about me?" No, I didn't forget. And she got it and was like, "No, you didn't forget. I sent it to you." By the way, if we get member, we'll just cancel that out, run it again. And if I lands on my name, then Surfer's give him more silver. Oh, I'll give more silver. So here we go. I got to turn down the volume because a lot of people complain about the volume. Here we go. I didn't know Nightbot actually could get in there. Let's roll it again.
That's the first I've ever seen Nightbot steal a show.
You would figure it'd be on my channel.
Maybe it's the AI wants to take your silver.
Oh, ain't that the truth? So, Space Miner, you got the first silver quarter. And I'm going to take you out of there. Normal for big things like the giveaway parties, I'll leave them in there, but we're going to take them out this time. Second one. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, good. I'm not going to have to give out another one. Aspiring alchemist, congratulations. Let me go right back to seeing if there was an increase in the number of likes. Let's see here. Refresh the page. And we are at 76, so one more. And I want to thank you all for hitting the like button. It really means the world to me to get this channel to be more and more successful. By the way, I'm going to be giving away 5 ounces when I get to 5,000 subscribers. There'll be others, but there will be a 5 ounce of silver being given away. And this guy, get him to his level. If you haven't subscribed to Surfer, he's got a goal. What's your goal that you want to get to?
Well, I don't know. I must have been smoking something the other day because I said we'd do a 10th ounce of gold if I hit 17,000 by the end of the year.
Okay.
And but that's what we're going for. What I'm trying to get to is 20,000. But we'll see what happens.
Well, let's get him to where he needs to be. He needs to be getting up there too, because he gives a lot of good information. And let's give away number 3. Sterner Reynolds, congratulations. You're the 3rd winner on a 1/4 ounce of silver. Excuse me, not 1/4 ounce, 25-cent silver quarter. Sorry, I said that a little bit backwards. So, like I said, 48 hours, please get those claiming emails to thetigerstacker@gmail.com. And like I said, please subscribe to this channel. I work really hard at getting you good information and things to protect you. And so does this guy here. And if you haven't subscribed to him, you're missing out. So go do it. Okay? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Sure. I'm not sure which one I like more. That or this one.
So here I am in the reel for anybody that doesn't know me, but I think most of you probably.
He has the best hair. I'm so jelly. So I'm going to go ahead and do the outro. Please stay long enough to watch the outro. My brother-in-law and I worked really hard at making this. So it was great fun having you. Surfer, thank you for being here for me for almost the 2 hours that we've been talking. Know that I'm going to get ready for you to go have your family eat your good cooking. So, night, everyone. Night, Surfer.
Good night, everybody. Thanks, Tiger.
Thank you.
Join the stream. Gold and silver lovers chasing precious dreams. Collectors, stackers, gather round. History in your hand. Old and timeless treasures from every distant land. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last through the ages we unite. Shining side by side, silver gleams and gold ignites a never-ending pride. And we are many, we are strong, in this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Oh, we are many, we are strong, in this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last through the ages we unite. Shining side by side, silver gleams and gold ignites a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong, in this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side, silver gleams and gold ignites a never-ending pride. A never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong, in this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Through the gleams and gold ignites a never-ending pride. The sender's calling, come and be a part. Feel the fire, hear the spark, treasure in your